What is up, Beyond the Gates fans? I got two episodes to talk about, the July 31st episode from yesterday and the August 1st episode today, a Thursday and Friday episode. Although I don't have a lot to say on yesterday's episode, which is why I didn't record a video in the first place, because it was more filler than even Wednesday's episode to me, as this entire week has kind of been building to the Articulettes reunion concert, and I'm just not invested enough in that storyline to care. But I did like all the... I think the show did a pretty good job of all the little relationship problems going on throughout the cast that is kind of coming to a forefront about who's going to attend the concert, who's not going to attend the concert, and all of that. I thought the best scenes yesterday had to be Nicole and Smitty, with Nicole hoping to try and help Smitty and Martin come back together. But the biggest thing that I liked from that little confrontation was Smitty upset that now Joey Armstrong has been brought into their lives because of the family setting all this into motion. And I just like that they have managed to tie Joey into a bigger part of the story overall. I'm kind of glad we got Jessica for the first time in a while, that Tyrell ran into Jessica. We haven't seen her since Tyrell accused her of just playing a big old joke on him and not really being into him. So it was good to see those two catch up. In that scene, though, later Tyrell was talking to Vernon, and they brought up how when Tyrell was in the foster care system. So I don't know. I feel like they're beating it very heavy to tie Tyrell and Samantha to the June story, unless it's a big fake out. But I do think that is what's coming. And then, I don't know, we had Andre looking at pictures of both Ashley and Danny. He's just trying to choose, I guess. Later running into Danny. In today's episode, we had some Ashley and Derek and Shanice stuff. They're annoying me by making Derek still kind of trying to work things out with Ashley, and the whole he and Shanice are just friends thing, because Shanice and Derek do have chemistry. So I don't know if they're just gonna make it a slower build to Derek and Shanice, or if it's kind of just a throwaway because the show is just doing all they can to make Ashley happen. But Ashley is not going to happen. Not in her current form. It's just not working. So Derek trying today to talk to her, saying he misses talking to her, and hoping they could get back together. And then she's the one that turns him down. And then next week we see a preview of Ashley and Andre. Even though today Ashley was making it seem once again like her and Andre aren't going anywhere. I'm pretty over anything Ashley on the show. I think it's back to the fast forwarding for me where Ashley is concerned. On the Articulate side of things, we saw yesterday and today Sharon was very nervous about this reunion concert. She was even hyperventilating at the beginning of today's episode. But they had Anita give her a pep talk. So I guess they are at least having Anita and Sharon work out their issues slowly but surely. Which, I don't know. I don't hate it. I liked that Sharon was someone to go up against Anita. But I'm not invested in the story anymore, so unless they have something big planned, I don't know where they go from here with the Articulates. Today we had Leslie and Eva meet up. Leslie apologized to Eva for her broken promise of getting them tickets to the Articulates concert. Little did Leslie know that Ted got Eva a ticket, but then of course when Leslie's going through Eva's purse, when Eva goes to the bathroom, she finds the ticket and steals it. So Eva has to run to Ted to warn him that her mother took the ticket, which is good because Ted didn't want to end up sitting next to Leslie at the concert surrounded by Duprees. Ted's going to look dumber than he usually looks in that situation. So yeah, Eva goes to the concert. Leslie's there. Of course, Kat's not happy to see. Eva accuses her of being there only because she thinks Eva's there to see Tomas. I still wish neither of these women were there to see the robot. But that just showed that Kat is closer to Tomas now because she's jealous of what could have been between Tomas and Eva, and then Eva's still panning after Tomas too. I don't know. That's another thing on the show, kind of over that triangle. Can't lie, this week has been a rough one. It's just been boring, and some of the directions of the stories, not their finest work. The preview for next week at least does look a lot better, at least better than this week. I'm more hopeful for next week than what we've been getting this week. I think the highlight for me today was actually Doug and Vanessa. Sometimes these two entertain me more than others because even though a couple episodes ago I thought they wrote Doug over the top, it's nice now to see Doug standing up to Vanessa with her wanting to be seen as this happily married couple when clearly they both just have issues. Vanessa wanted Doug to go to the concert with her. Doug didn't want to because of what I just said. He doesn't see the need for people to see them as this perfect couple. Vanessa wants Doug to stop his indulgences, which is the gambling and the drinking that he's been doing more heavily, I guess, which he was drunk 2 episodes ago, which is why he was over the top. He agreed to stop his indulgences, but he wants her to stop her indulgences, which is Joey, and wanting to be partners in crime with Joey. And Vanessa quickly tried to change the subject, so Doug wasn't having it, and invited Shanice to the concert in his place to take the extra ticket that Vanessa had. So Doug was a highlight today. And then we had the actual Articulettes concert. Now, together, I thought the Articulettes had a little bop going. You know, I actually did enjoy their performance. Sharon, of course, had to carry that performance on her back. So she wasn't lying when she said she was the voice in the group. But I still thought as a group they did an actual good job. And I know a lot of people, well, not a lot, but a few comments I've had this week is like, what era are the Articulettes actually supposed to be from? Because you would think the 60s, but they're clearly not. And then some people said the 80s, but I don't see that either. I thought they were very 70s today, and I think that works too. Like early, mid-70s, that's the vibe I got from the Articulettes concert. Anita's solo, could have done without that. She really didn't need to convince them that she needed a solo. Some of the other goings on today, once again, we had the tension between Smitty and Martin, where Smitty and Samantha ran into Martin at the concert. Samantha wanted her fathers to sit next to each other, but Martin doesn't want to press her Smitty yet. We saw Danny run into Andre, but we already see by next week preview that Andre is going to be wrapped back up with Ashley to bore us to tears. And Leslie, of course, was being her. She made a dramatic entrance to show off her dress to Naomi and Smitty. Eva tried to do damage control with her mother being there. And we see by next week's preview we're going to have some confrontation at the after party with Leslie and Eva and Kat. But all in all, this week was iffy, as I said. Pretty boring, but not every week can be a wild ride, and I'm hoping for better next week. We do see some interesting things. We see Nicole out with Carlton. So I guess they are going in that direction with Nicole and Carlton, maybe starting a little flirtmance, maybe an actual romance, someone for Ted to have competition with, even though Ted's doing a pretty bad job of being in competition with himself to win Nicole back. And, yeah, I also thought, like, for a Friday, they could have given us a cliffhanger or something. It ended very awkwardly with Anita making some announcement. So it's like I said, with all this articulate stuff, where do we go next? What is actually the next part of the story? Because it's been redundant the whole time with them. Are they going to have the concert? Are they not going to have the concert? Well, they did. So what was the point of it all? And where do we go from here? I still suspect maybe we see Dante Green. But what can we really get from that? I don't know. But yeah, here's hoping for a better week next week.